So let's work on putting this cylinder head back together. I've given it a spray with brake cleaner all through these areas, just to make sure there's no valve grinding paste left in there, because that would be disastrous. So first thing we've got to do is pop on the valve guide rubbers, valve guide seals. There we go. These ones are green. Well, the old ones are probably okay, but there we go. This is the new ones. Much smaller hole than the new ones. Okay, so they just pop on. Make sure it's flush on there. There we go. We're on both sides. That's nice. Make sure they're flush. Yeah, slide them all that way. Right, so I've popped the valves back, and let's go for the dinky little one first. Bit of oil on there. And we go in. There we go. In the hole. If it goes through without. There we go. Coming through there. So that actually pushed up a little bit. Ouch. As it went through, it pushed that angle. There you go. Just make sure that valve. Just want to make sure the oil seal is nice and seated there. Yeah, that seems better. That one's good. Yeah. And that was good. Yeah. So again, let's get this in there. In she goes. A little twist. That's it. There you go. That's better. That's better. Yeah. Happy with that. You obviously want these valves to seal, and obviously if that's a little bit wonky in there, then it might not seal so well. These problems are probably okay, but let's go with the new. So now with the inlet valve, twisty, 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 going through. There we are. Be easy, that one, and that seal is still looking good. There's a small spring inside a big spring, and there's a little sort of cap on top. I just put back in, pop like so. Right, here we go. There we go. So it's compressed. There we are. Now, just put the little collets in. No, this is not magnetic. Let's get a bit of grease on the ends. Bit of grease on the end of it. Bit of dog. As the motor won't mind having a bit of grease in there. Right, let's put grease on the valve as well, so it all sticks together. There we go, number one. There it is. I'll just spin it around on there. Yeah. We can't see what I'm doing there, but number two. When it goes, in the little groove. And then get into the groove. Okay, there you go. Very thin. Let off the pressure slowly. And we lost one. Hey! So, that didn't work. Probably released it slightly too quick. Try again. We're in that time. Yeah, we're in. I'm going to give a few little in and outs. Make sure it's seated. It is, it's all good. That's one valve in. The next one will be less fiddly. Here we go. Number 2. A few little pushes. Yep, seems good. So, valves are back in. Right, this is nice and warm now. Put my gloves on. I've just had my dinner and watched a bit of Musty One, as you do. The Sunday Tractor one. And whilst I was doing that, I had these 2 pins in the freezer. Okay, so it should make it easier. This being warm, then being very cold. Okay. So here we go! So let's start by putting the rockers in. The cam's still out at the moment. This little fiddly little bugger goes in, like so. And then we want to drop this down there. This one doesn't need to be cold oil. This one doesn't need to be in any particular. Threads out obviously, otherwise you won't be able to get it out ever again. Down she goes. It's a very tight fit, is that in there? Okay. I'm going to tap that bad boy in. Hopefully. With a it's going down, just make sure this is located. It is, that's good. There she goes. And this last time this one was catching on the exhaust, no sorry, one of the head nuts. So I want to make sure this is flush. Further to go still. It's a little bit awkward. Are we clear? Before it was this nut here which we see, it's touching a bit there. Will it screw past a little bit? Yeah, it screws past, it's okay. Phew. So that isn't further enough, it will screw past there and go past that bit. Because before, remember, when we took it apart we had to re-thread this, didn't we? But it's further in now, it's further enough in now. Happy with that one. Second one, a little bit more tricky. Yeah, I've just been, whilst I've been heating the head, I've been having a look at it and trying to work out why it's got that notch cut out in there. It's because these are oil ways, the bigger ones. Okay, well the dowels are, I believe. oil comes up those ones. And for example, this one here, that's that. If this screw here is, you're meant to open that to see if you got good oil flow. Okay, I've got this whole shaft here, and when this pin goes in there, it allows the oil to pass there, I believe. Okay, that's the only thing the only reason I can think of that being there. Okay, yeah, got this hollow shaft there. That allows oil to come out of there when you undo it. Okay, so let's get this other rocker in. There we go, we're in. Get that lined up. Okay, then we've got this lined up. It's going horizontal. Sorry, yeah, horizontal. And it's got to stay horizontal as it's driven down. You can presume you can probably twist it once it's in there with a big screwdriver. But we'll see. Again, it's nice and warm. Nice flat surface. Yeah, that sounds pretty metallic, doesn't it? This is a little bit of just a happy tap. There we go. Cool, all done. Lovely jubbly. So there we go. Both pins are in, and that one this side, it's got horizontal lines there. Okay. So let's get the cam in. Again, we're gonna get some oil down here, all over the bearing surfaces. So you need all bearing oils. Blah blah blah. And let's put that down in there. There you are. Lovely. Wonderful. And this, let's get some more around here. Again, this is just the same. You can get special assembly oil, but I'm just using motorcycle oil. There you go. And voila. And then we have these bits to go back on, don't we? Stay. And there's two of them. There's the top and the bottom. Bottom bit has like keepers for the bearing and for that and for the what's it called, thingy pin. So they've got to be lined up just about there. Yeah, I think we're in the right place anyway. Yep. Happy with that. So that goes on first. Then this goes on top. So I'll make sure this is tapped down flush, which it is. Good. Beautiful. Maybe the bearing, I don't want it to be off. It's gone in. This side in. Right, so we've got these in. Now apparently these are going to be like £6 for a torque, which is, well, it's nothing, is it? I'm just going to use my common sense here. It's a 10mm bolt going into an alloy head, so it ain't very tight, is it? 6 is not a lot, so it's about 6, I say. This is that. Right, so I'm going to pin these back over. Little those. There we go, coming in. I'm just bending these little tabs over. There you go. I'm putting the tabs over two sides of the bolt. For each bolt. Some here, one there. One here, one there. as well. So basically it's pinned over each corner. Bend round, and the same there. Put this on. Yeah. That's it. Top back, top to centre. There was slightly off. There you go. There we go. There we got the valves again. Good. Okay. Yeah, as I turn, they're opening and closing. Yeah, and they're all lining up. Just in case I put it around the wrong way or something. No, we're good. Happy with that. Slide up that cam. Oh, that cam. Good. Right then. So that is the cylinder head rebuilt. A little bit tricky in places, but all good. So I've got to pop the piston back under its conrod. I've already fit a new circlip that side, and I've already inserted the gudgeon pin. A little bit of lube on there again, a little bit of lube, a little bit of lube in there as well. Just gonna, because the arrow is pointing down to the exhaust, just gonna put that through in there. Needle nose. Again, I've got some rub down in the barrel, so hopefully. Okay, we are in. Nice one. Right, with the base gasket, I'm going to pop a bit of sealant on it. I'm going to go bare fingers on this, and I'm just going to smear a very small amount just on this surface which I've cleaned, and then I'm going to stick the gasket to it, and I get a very small smear on the other side, very thin, just take any sort of imperfections in that in the surface which could cause leaks. Put a bit of grease on so it stays there. There we are. Right, so feeding the chain through the tunnel. Bit of wire attached. It's quite a fun job, this. Oh, it's this angle, it's easier. Just gonna ease in the piston. It's got lovely. These are great, these little engines, because they've got chamfered edges on the barrel, so you can just sort of wobble the piston in, and the rings get in there. Yeah. Let's get on these dowels. We are down. Nice one. Wow. Working quite fast because I've got sealant on there now. I'm going to pop the head on. This surface is pretty clean still. It's all good. There's no oil seal there, but that did not come in the kit. I've got another oil ring. Pop the other little guide down, which goes that way. It goes that way. And it goes one way, I think. And it goes one way. Okay. Down she goes. This little nodule thing. So we've got the guide and the tensioner there. Get them nice and cherry hot. And what annealing does is it basically rearranges the monocols, the molecular structure of this, so it becomes soft again. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to see whether you got it hot or not, whether it's glowing or not in the daytime, but you can generally see. Hopefully it won't smash my glass when I put it in there. Quench. Going through. Make sure it's still on the cogs on the bottom. Looks to be. Guide in. It's a little bit awkward. So we are buttoned up that way. So we can torque these down now. These top 4 to start with. I've got the order written down here somewhere. The first in Newton meters is 21.69 for these top 4. And order of tonic is 1. Let's do it a little bit slowly anyway. 2. Just taking up all the 3. Doesn't give any sort of normally on the heads you're given a sort of you're given sort of stages, but there's nothing in the Haynes manual for stages on this. 6. These are slightly less, so I'm going to a little bit less. These are 19.6 Newton meters. So on to these little ones here. 7 and 8. So I'm just going to nip them up. These only take sort of 9 Newton meters, so it's hardly anything. Again, use your this sort of thing. Use your judgment. These are tiny little. Sort of, what are they, 5mm thread going into aluminium block, so, and squeezing against aluminium. But there you go, so that's torqued up. Right, so first thing, we've got to make sure the engine's still back at its top dead centre, so back here like at the very start. It is just off. Let's pop it back on here. This is always would be the fiddly bit, doing this bit. Son? See. So I've got it to the way it was before. Because the chain has a little bit of stretch in it, I could not get it to line up exactly, okay, because the chain is physically like 3 mil too long or something, if that. So I've got it to where it's before exactly. It's slightly off, but lining up with one of the links there and lining up exactly there. So I'm going to put this tensioner back in now and see if that stays how it should do. So the tensioner, I figured out now, you pop in a screwdriver, wind it in, and then you can pop in like so. Get these in, get them tightened up, finger tight at least. Yeah. Tension's on there now. I'm going to nip this up, nip nip, and again, not too tight. Okay, so let's rotate this engine and see if we're still on the mark. Fingers crossed we are. Well, we're still on the stretch chain mark. Yeah, so we're in exactly the same place there, which is cool. So sorted. I've just rotated the engine a couple of times. It's still staying on the same mark. So I torqued the nut down to 58 newton meters whilst holding the engine bolt. I readjusted the valves because they both were a little bit tight after grinding the valves in. But yeah, ready to go. So I'm going to put this back in the frame now and see if she goes.